Okay, in this video I am going to discuss about the Terraform state file. What exactly is a state file and why do we require that? First of all, just think of it. You have the main.tf file. Over there you have written about EC2 instance, S3 bucket and EKS and ECR, and you are creating these all the things for some development team. And once it is you have written a HCL file, like you have provided the provider, you have written a resource name S3 bucket and EKS ECR and some file, and you executed it using the Terraform unit and Terraform apply and Terraform plan. Now after doing these all the things, you will get some resources out of it. Fine, you got the resources. What if uh, the development team runs a particular file twice? In such case, what happens? So we are dealing with that particular thing. Here we are having the EC2, S3, Lambda, CloudWatch and EKS. We have written everything related to it by providing the provider AWS and resources as like this, and we have written some HCL code. We said Terraform init, Terraform plan and apply, and it has created the resources as according to that. Once it is done, again, what if the development team whom you are giving this Terraform file, they execute it twice? Will the resources will be created twice? The answer is no, because when you are creating any of the Terraform file, there is some necessary things associated with it all are also created, and the track record or the information is stored in the state files. State file will say, okay, these are the resources what you have created previously, again you are creating it, I will not allow it, because in the history it is already updated, in the records it is already updated. Therefore I am not gonna execute this thing again and again. Therefore this is the use of the Terraform state files. They store and record the information of what all resources you are creating. And again, if you want to update or delete and destroy the resources, or you want to add some tag to the EC2 instance what you have previously created, you need to have some information, right? You cannot go again and again over there in the AWS. Okay, previously I created it using automation, but now I am doing it manually by updating the tag name. It is not a efficient way to do those all things. Terraform state file is necessary. It will store the information, you can able to retrieve those information, and you can able to update the information as according to you. You can able to delete and destroy. Previously if you saw me using the code spaces, I usually write the Terraform destroy, because AWS normally it is too costly, and when you are dealing with the resources, you are creating the VPC, EKS, ECR, these are actually too much costly, and we have to write the Terraform destroy to destroy those resources when it is not required. Therefore it is necessary to have the state file. Okay, what are the disadvantages of the state file? See, it stores the information of everything. You create EC2, it will have the information. You create S3, it has information. You create CloudWatch, it has information about it. You create a Lambda function, it has information about it. Therefore creating a sensitive information is also problematic, because it stores that information. Just consider, you are saying, okay, you have to create the EC2 instance, and over there in the security groups you are mentioning that, okay, I want a public IP address, or I want particular IP address where it has to show me those things, or it is also gonna store your access keys, what we have used to access our resources from the AWS. It is also storing those information. Therefore it is problematic when you're dealing with the state file, because it is storing the information. Sensitive information is also gonna be stored. Okay, every time when the code changes, you need to update this particular state file. Fine, see, you have some GitHub repo where the DevOps engineer has pushed some code related to that Terraform. You just pull those code into your local machine and you execute it. You have to also pull the state file, and once you pull the state file, when it is getting when it's updated, you need to again push that particular thing into GitHub, or else it do not know, because the changes what you have made are only made in your local system. No doubt the resources are created, but the information is stored in state file, and you are not again pushing that particular code into GitHub. Then again, when another DevOps engineer came, he knows, like, okay, there are some of the resources are created, but those are not updated in the state file. So when he say, see, whatever information, whatever resources are created without informing the state file has to be deleted. It will be deleted, because it doesn't have any history. Therefore it become a disadvantage every time changing state file and pushing it and pulling it become too much huge task. So we came up with something called as a remote backend. What if we store the state file in some S3 bucket? Previously, as told you, the S3 bucket where you can able to store the audio, video, and files, Excel sheets, like a lot of things. Over there, you can able to store your file. So whenever some person who pulls the code out of the GitHub and made some changes, okay, he written some code and he told that, okay, Terraform init. When he say Terraform plan, the whole of the state file what it is having, it is triggered in the S3 bucket. In the S3 bucket you have the state file, and you are making the changes locally in the Terraform. The changes got triggered and it goes to IAM. In the IAM it will check the access management or the identity of that particular person who is making the changes, and if the changes are, like, if the person is authorized to do so, then it will go into the S3 bucket and it will update the new thing, like, because he created the EC2 machine. The information is stored in the state file, like this person is created S3 some resources in the AWS using at this particular time, using this particular machine, and it is getting updated. And again, when a new user comes and makes the changes, then it is directly updated over there only, because you don't need to call the Terraform state file again and again from your local system. You are just making Terraform init, Terraform plan. The whole of your configuration is updated in the S3 bucket that is present somewhere else, but it is accessible throughout the world. And this is the use of the remote backend. We are not again and again updating the S3 bucket. We are just putting it in some S3 bucket. We are putting the state file in some S3 bucket, and whenever we are making any sort of changes in the Terraform, using the identity and access management, it is checking and it is updating. Therefore it become very friendly and easy to use, because you are not updating everything again and again. So now we came up with a state log file. Fine. Here just consider there is a Terraform file. First user make access for a resources, and the state log file, what it does, okay, he's asking for creation of some resources. Okay, I will create it, and it will authorize and it will update the S3 bucket, the state file that is present in the S3 bucket. Okay, at the same amount of time there is a second user who want to delete that particular resource. For example, the first person is creating the EC2 machine and the second person want to delete those. And when both the file, like both the code are triggered together, then the state file is in confusion, because what needs to be done at that mode of time, it will not take that into a consideration, because the first person is creating that and second person want to delete that particular thing. Therefore it become very tedious task. Therefore the state log file, what it does, when first user is doing some changes, it will log that state file, like the first person is doing some changes. Once he is done with that, you can able to delete that resource. This is how the state log file works. It will lock that particular state file. Okay, some user is doing some changes, it is locked at this particular moment, and only that user could able to access who is making the change. Once the change is done, then the second user can able to access it. This is how we go with the state log file. This is all about it. Thank you.